It felt like he was being irresponsible in rushing into new relationships so fast, and he'd found a loophole in our no sleeping over rule, and it crushed me. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, gonna go over a story titled, My Husband Left Me. And a big shout out to Joseph for sending me this story. And guys, this story is about a wife and a husband. They've been married for 11 years. And she's posting this because she's having a freaking meltdown because her husband is up and leaving her after 11 years. And why, you may ask? Because like so many of these stories before, they're in an open relationship, open marriage. And what I pieced together, even though she doesn't address it, to no surprise, this was her idea. And she is very, in a well-written way, making the husband out to be the bad guy because he doesn't want this lifestyle, her, or anything like that. And let me tell you, she definitely does a good job of convincing a lot of people for the whole pity party she gets in the comment section. People buying into her bullshit. But given that I've done this for a while, over 3 years now, countless stories on these things, I can read between the lines and see the bullshit. And once again, it proves that these things don't work. And in this story, you're going to see the husband obviously found somebody that he liked a hell of a lot better, probably didn't want to do that lifestyle, and I was kicking her to the curb. And it's the woe is me and blah, blah, blah. Never ceases to amaze me. So once again, guys, it proves this doesn't work. So, for your relationship guys, you guys in marriages, if one day, and I hope this doesn't happen to you, but if it does, your wife or girlfriend brings this up, and typically it's in a subtle way, hints and stuff like that, that tells you everything you need to know, okay? Because no woman who loves their guy wants to share him at all. And no guy that loves his wife as well would want to do that type of thing. Because sometimes guys bring this up too. And it's best at that point to part ways, because the odds are is that there's already cheating going on or it's already being lined up. So I'm going to go through this and you'll see what I'm talking about here. Starts off, it says here, I posted 3 weeks ago asking if I was overreacting to my husband's third date with a new partner. I've since deleted that since friends were hunting for it. So this is a follow-up to something she posted, but obviously it wasn't like a big story. A long story short, we're new to ENM. I looked it up, guys, as ethical non-monogamy. I like that little ethical. I was going through a hard time with a fling that I had ending and couldn't handle hearing the details of his dates because she was now not dating anybody. That was when it caught me off guard when he made plans to wake up early and leave the house first thing in the morning so he could go spend the entire day with someone. Well, isn't that what they do with these open things? Sounds like he's probably breaking one of her rules. It felt like he was being irresponsible in rushing into a new relationship so fast, and had found a loophole in our no sleeping over rule, and it crushed me. Well, again, whose idea was this whole thing in the first place? We also have that rule that we tell each other our plans, which he didn't until the last possible second as we were falling asleep. If I hadn't asked, I would have woken up the next day and we would have gone for 14 hours with no explanation. Well, maybe this goes to show you this whole thing is ridiculous and a bad idea, and yet you both went into it. Now, he's no saint either. I mean, this was just a dumb idea. He should kick her to the curb, but I think he's looking for her replacement. Many people thought I was overreacting, and to be honest, I did too. But something about it really rubbed me the wrong way. Well, he came home after his third date with this person and broke up with me. He ended our 11-year marriage with no warning, no conversation. Because clearly he's done. He told me he found qualities in this new person. I like how she uses person. Just say it's a woman. It's a woman, lady. That I didn't realize that he needed. I said that I thought the point of poly was that everyone can give you everything. What a load of crap. He said that seeing these qualities in her just made him realize how much I didn't have them and how much he needs them. You mean probably a gal that would be with just him and nobody else? I am beyond devastated. I thought we had an amazing marriage and partnership. Well, it was amazing for her when she was getting plenty of sausage. We were the envy of our friends. Literally 2 weeks before this happened, I was telling someone that we had an incredible marriage and we'd be together forever. It's not an incredible marriage if you have to get outside partners to come make you feel whole. My husband was telling people he felt like he was falling in love with me all over again. We both felt that E&M, ethical non-monogamy, was going great. We weren't fighting. Our SCX life was great. SCX life with each other or SCX life with others? One of the hardest parts of this has been the fact that he isn't open to even discussing it with me. He usually loves talking about things. We've always been amazing at resolving conflict and have almost never had a multi-day fight. But something was radically different this time. He had no interest in reconciling or talking. It was like a switch flipped. It's called he's done. And correct me if I'm wrong, but how many stories have I heard where the husband thought he had a great marriage and just like that, the wife's done, kicks him to the curb. No explanation, no discussion, no let's work on this, she is done. But if a guy does it, well, again, he is root of all evil. I tried for 5 days. I reread Polysecure and Attached and talked about what I saw as the root issues. Polysecure, Attached, are these magazines or actual books that these people used? I acknowledged my role in our conflict. Aha. I did not ask him to end his new relationship. Nothing worked. It was like a wall went up. He told me that being with someone new had made him realize he has been suppressing his true feelings and he hasn't been happy in a long time. Now, gee, I wonder why he hasn't been happy in a long time. Usually these husbands aren't very happy when their wives bring these things up. They go along with it because they figure they're going to lose her or something like that. She has leverage over them. But they suppress being unhappy and go along with it until they find a replacement. He says that I'm not emotionally open enough for him. He said that he deserves to be selfish for once. I feel like he's going crazy. I told him that the number one thing every poly resource says is not to make major life decisions during NRE. Non-RE. Okay, I didn't look that one up. I'll have to look that up later. But he thinks that he's seeing things more clearly than ever. After 5 days of being given the silent treatment, I moved into an Airbnb. A week later, he moved into a sublet, and I came home. It's been 2 weeks since, and we've barely spoken. Clearly, the guy was looking for her replacement. Now, he should have been strong enough to just end it to move on, but not all guys are like that. I really thought we had done the work before going in. Our relationship felt stronger than ever. But this conflict exposed some incompatibilities and major resentment. Yeah, people are going to be resentful when the person they married and they loved and thought they loved them brings up one day, hey, let's test how strong our marriage is because we're so strong we can go bring other people in there. And of course there's going to be resentment. But we got the victim thing going on here. Personally, I think our issues are fixable. We have a classic anxious avoidant dance. And I can see that we've lost trust in each other. You think? We are also codependent. I spent these last few weeks identifying what my needs are that weren't being met in the relationship. I can see that I could be more emotionally open, but I've also realized I'm someone who needs space and haven't advocated for that need. I've been taking it in by checking out and spending too much time at work and on my phone. Too much time at work or on your phone. You left out a few other things, also spending time with Chad and Tyrone's you know what in your mouth and other areas. He needs a lot of checking in and connection, maybe more than I can provide. I was excited for Polly because it would give him new people to process with. So you can see that the dots are being connected here. She's not emotionally open to him. She's spending all this extra time at work or on her phone, and not to mention dates. He doesn't feel like he has someone that could be his wife, he can be talked to, be connected with. So he's checked out. And it's been wearing him down. And probably no doubt he found someone that obviously was different, or it was enough to just, and I know it was 3 dates, that's what she's claiming here. Might be an exaggeration. But regardless, he's done. She needs to let him go and realize where she screwed up. I am overall incredibly sad, but a small part of me feels relieved. I've been told for 11 years that I'm not enough, that I'm doing our relationship wrong, and that I should be different. Well, clearly something's wrong. Maybe it would be nice for me to be with someone who thinks I am enough. I got a lot of blame from him when this conflict came up, and it made me realize I got a lot of blame in our relationship. It'd be nice to be with someone who can take some responsibility. Now, I don't know the whole picture here, but this whole thing, regardless, she's pointing the finger at him, he's pointing the finger at her, but again, I not buying her crybaby fest here. They're just not working. And when it isn't working, there's a point you just throw in the towel. And clearly he's unhappy, and clearly his needs are being met. And probably saying you're not being enough because she probably was never present in the relationship, always looking to the horizon for other sauces to taste. I really hope we can reconcile, but I don't know. He doesn't seem to want that at all. He's not a mean person, but this is all incredibly out of character for him. I told him that he's an NRE. He's launching a new business. It's February and it's a pandemic. This is obviously written a while ago. I asked to please reconnect in a few months to see if things look different, but I'm really scared. I don't think he wants to. He says he needs space to find himself. Now, that whole finding oneself thing sounds like a lot of things the gals say when they want to get some sausage. But this whole thing's a mess. And once again, what is the root cause here? The open relationship, the poly crap. It doesn't work. And you either sit down and work things out, talk, communicate, which nobody seems to do anymore, or you move on. But the surest way to kill it is try this alternative lifestyle thing, thinking it's a good idea. I just really can't understand how it would take someone 3 days to decide to trash an 11-year relationship with no conversation, no working on things, just I'm done, goodbye. Because he's been worn down over the years, that's why. It wasn't some chick he met in 3 dates. He was already planning his exit strategy. This is the hardest thing I've ever experienced. I think you've experienced many hard things, honey. That's what led to the problem. We've had almost no contact since we parted ways at his request. One day I was best friends with someone, and the next day we were just no longer in my life at all. What the actual fuck? So, lady, what you need to do is, it is what it is, it's over, okay? Now, I'm sure there's been things he's done over the years that have been great, and obviously you as well. It's not working. And the idea to go to this open relationship, open marriage thing, the poly lifestyle to make things better, it never works. The only time it works is when the two people start the relationship and are both into that lifestyle. Then maybe it can work. But just going into it in a monogamous thing, like God forbid you do that, and then one day somebody brings it up and we know who usually that is, it doesn't end well. And so this is what happened. And he's probably just built a resentment for years. And no guy wants his wife being plowed by some other dude or dudes. And it's always easier for the woman to get guys. It's much harder for a guy. And he's probably looking for somebody that isn't into that lifestyle. And he's just been worn down for years. He shouldn't have gone along with this. Okay, it was his fault. But then again, you know, it's done. But you both, it sounds like they're probably in their 30s. Plenty of time that they can start over and move on. And that's that. And don't ruin a good thing you have next time, if it was a good thing, by trying to engage in this lifestyle. That's what I have to say about that. Now I'll read a few comments here, and overwhelmingly the comment section was full of people supporting her, mainly women, that bought into her playing the world's smallest violin and making him out to be a bad guy here. But I'll read a few comments here. People are kind of seeing through her crap. One guy says here, he tells you he's been unhappy for a long time. Believe him. He told you for 11 years that you're not enough and you're doing things wrong. You should be different. Believe him. You were only happy because you ignored all of this. Correct. That's what it sounds like. Again, she was always at work. She's always on her phone. Obviously, he was very, very little importance to him, amongst many other things. Another guy says here, 7 years ago, I was your husband. It wasn't about being with the other person instead of my ex. It was what the other person showed me about my marriage and myself. It was absolutely the right thing for me. I was absolutely seeing more clearly than ever. I know it hurt my ex-husband, but I had to live my life for me, not for him or for our marriage. I'm so sorry it hurts. I really am. I know he doesn't want to hurt you, but he has to do what's right for him. So that's a comment written by a woman, and she was in the same situation, but on the opposite side. And obviously it wasn't working, and needs were being met, etc., etc. And that person was more focused on, you could tell in her situation, her guy was more focused on himself and other things than her. So this just simply is not going to work. So again, I say this 1,000 times, I'll probably say it another 1,000 times, don't get into this type of lifestyle. So guys, your relationship guide, your girl brings this up, end it. Move on. Do not get into it out of fear she'll leave you or you got nothing else. This is why I try to help guys build themselves up. The guys work on themselves, become the best they can be on many fronts in their life, and that way they're not going to attract people that are going to take advantage of them. And if these guys have built themselves up and they're feeling good about themselves, they're confident, doing well, and their girlfriend or fiance or wife doesn't notice this, or she still sees him as the old guy she can walk all over, he'll then know what to do. Because a guy who feels like he has no worth will go along with this because he feels like, I don't want to lose her, I don't want to be alone. A guy with value and values himself say, no, we're not. You're not going to go out there and hook up with other guys or whatever. And the thought that you want to do that, bring it up, tells me it's over. Because as you all know, typically they're already hooking up with another dude or dudes, or they got them lined up. It's just a bad way to go. And it's the same thing if a man brings it up. Because on occasion, these ladies write these stories where the guy brings this thing up, and I say the same thing. Should kick him to the curb too. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, you come across a great story, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it. I definitely will when I get the chance. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.